Planet Dolan. Most smartphones are pretty similar. Despite all the company tribalism, they take photos, get you on the internet, and if you're really weird, they call people. So what phones have been made that are actually a bit different? Where did the designs come from? Here are the 15 weirdest smartphones ever. I'm Danger Dolan, and today I will be your narrator.
Number 15.
The Nokia 7600. This phone was designed to target the fashion market, presumably to increase handbag sales, as you'd need an extra one to carry this thing around. Has a 0.3 megapixel camera, which was, pretty good at the time, increasing its fashion appeal. However, the peculiar teardrop shape was notoriously hard to deal with, making it necessary to do most things with two hands.
Number 14.
The Nokia 7280, and if you thought Nokia stopped there on the fashion line, think again. In 2004, they released this thing, which was almost unrecognizable as a phone. It looked like a robot lipstick, and the display turned into a mirror when not in use.
Number 13.
The Qiang Hong H2. This hyper-advanced phone will be coming out soon, priced at about $500. The thing that sets it apart is the molecular identification system that allows it to look at the chemical makeup of a material. You might think, cool, but I'm not about to start scanning rocks. This technology will let you see the freshness of food, check medicines, and even learn stuff about your own body.
Number 12.
The LG Flex. So LG tried to tackle two issues with the original design. Firstly, they wanted a screen that drew you in more, and secondly, they wanted a phone that was more comfortable to hold. The answer was to make a curved phone, and LG Flex did actually help on both those fronts. It was pleasant to hold, and the screen was actually quite nice.
Number 11.
The Motorola Flipout. At first glance, this looks more like a chunky smartwatch than a phone, but the Flipout had a keyboard that slid from behind the screen and allowed you to type on it a little like a BlackBerry. As a messaging tool, it worked perfectly, but the screen was only 2.8 inches, so it wasn't much use for browsing the internet.
Number 10.
The No Phone got almost 1,000 backers and raised $18,000 when it launched on Kickstarter. Now this might not sound like a lot for a piece of modern technology, but the No Phone was in fact just a phone-shaped lump of plastic that did nothing other than take up space in your pocket. At least the battery life was incredible.
Number 9.
The Samsung Serene. Bang & Olufsen made their name making some of the highest quality speakers for the commercial market, so it's no surprise that they partnered with Samsung for a smartphone. The result was pretty music focused, but with it almost being $1,300, it was way too expensive and really just a chunky flip phone with a few extra features.
Number 8.
The Rinsable Biman raised almost $300,000 during its round of crowdfunding. When you look at it, it's easy to see why. Inspired by the look of old pocket watches, it's a perfect circle with a camera right in the middle of the hardwood case. The developers also wanted to make it all open source so people could edit it as they wanted.
Number 7.
The Toshiba G450. This will get lost in a handbag until the end of time, since it's less than 4 inches tall, 1.5 inches wide, and 3/4 inches thick. It also only weighed 57 grams. The dial buttons are split up in a very unusual way, with 1 to 6 on one dial and 7890 on another. And even after hours of using it, you'll probably wish you had lost it, as it's like trying to text in Klingon.
Number 6.
The Virtu Signature Touch. This phone might not look too different. It's pretty standard shape, although it does have some interesting design elements, with a leather back and titanium frame. However, this series starts at over $10,000 and some are double that. Aside from all the expensive materials, the most interesting feature is that you get a 24-hour concierge service that can organize almost anything you need, even getting you into seemingly booked out restaurants and events.
Number 5.
The Virtu Signature Cobra. Now let's bring some balance to the force. Virtu's rich people phones have not always been so appealing, and once they made some of the ugliest devices of all time. This bling monstrosity was made of gold and had a crystal snake wrapped around it. Despite costing over $300,000, looked like it came from a cheap market stall.
Number 4.
The Yoda Phone 2 is the first ever dual screen smartphone. Cleverly combines a regular screen with an e-reader surface on the back. It isn't just for ebooks, you can go for days without a charge if you use the digital paper screen, even while browsing the internet and using Facebook and Twitter. It's also great if you want to have conversations with yourself.
Number 3.
The Moxie Bendable. Chinese startup called Moxie has said it will release a bendable phone that will have a functioning touchscreen that you can wrap all the way around your wrist. However, despite talking it up in 2016, the device has not made it to market yet, and they are not the only company working on this kind of tech. LG has already shown an 18-inch rollable screen, so others may soon follow.
Number 2.
Project Ara. There's another smartphone that may not be available anytime soon, but this one came from tech masters Google, so it's surprising that they've given up. Core idea is to have a modular phone where users can swap out sections like the camera and the battery so they can customize their phone to fit their needs and their budget. But Google said they couldn't make it cheap enough, so it's one possibly for the future.
Number 1.
The Golden Buddha phone. When you think of Buddha, you picture calm, peacefulness, maybe a big belly. But the Golden Buddha phone doesn't really represent these qualities. At $1750, it was the most expensive handset in China in 2009. It's not exactly subtle. It's basically an engraved gold egg. But it does come with a virtual prayer room, so you can ask forgiveness for buying it. This video was made possible by our fans over on Patreon. Thanks for your support, guys. That is it for this countdown. Have a good one!